galvanize me, steady like steel, back on my feet, living for the thrill again, loving for another day. She satisfied me, gave me what I want, just what we need, never too far away, loving for another day. But she asked for something more. She asked for, yeah, she asked for something beautiful. She asked for, yeah, she asked for, she asked for something beautiful. She mystifies me, tell me what I did wrong, I plead. Never did I think we would be loving for another day. But she asked for something more. She asked for, yeah, she asked for something beautiful. Something beautiful. Yeah, she asked for something beautiful. She asked for, yeah, she asked for, she asked for something beautiful.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to the stream here on Let's Build Twitter, where I write some horrible code and you guys make fun of me. But I did get some work done in between, like streams and whatnot. So now we are at the point where we have this guy. If we go back, actually that button doesn't do anything. We need to deal with that. We go into messages. As we can see, we have Rick and Morty. I set it up so that we can refresh this. I don't remember exactly everything we did in stream and what I did off stream. I haven't done as much work off stream this week as I did last week because I've been trying to get the Freedom Tracker video done. I'm trying to like alternate between working on this and working on Freedom Tracker in my spare time. So this week I'm trying to work on Freedom Tracker in my spare time. But today we're gonna be working in here. So this needs to say leave conversation. So I don't know if we're gonna do anything with search, to be completely honest, just because it kind of seems like it's kind of silly, it just searches inside the messages. Maybe I'll have it so that it pops up and can like kind of do a little bit of a query through the messages. I'm not sure. Mute, I might make it so we click on it and it, I don't know. Mute kind of seems silly to have do anything with. Maybe I'll click on this and we can add like a muted or something, I don't know, but that's gonna require us to do a little bit more work on the back end. But I think we have some back end work anyway for this one. This is supposed to say leave conversation, and I'm not sure if on YouTube you can see this, but like it's either our background color isn't quite right, which could 100% be the case. If I inspect the background color of Twitter, let's see if I can see the background color. This says gray 200, but that's the border though. Yeah, I'm not sure I can yoink the background color of the HTML or not. Yeah, it's just pure white. I don't know if our background color is pure white. That might be why it's hard to see. If I look at our body and put a background dash color of white on there, you still can't see it. It's my monitor. So my monitor just makes it really hard to see. I don't know if you guys can see it on whatever, because like if I move this over, I know you guys can't see it on my other monitor, I can see it. So something with my monitor makes this really hard to see, but trust it's there if you can't see it. But also something I noticed is that if I move this over, if you go to like a single conversation and go into edit, there's this little pencil here. I'm gonna add this for all conversations. It doesn't make any sense to me to have this only on single conversations. So I'm gonna do that. The other thing that sucks is that in here, there's these conversations and like this chat settings I want to set up, which I don't love either, but it is what it is. So what we're gonna go and do is I'm not touching what the messages look like and stuff. And if you haven't noticed, this literally changed in the middle of me working on it, so that also sucks, but again, I'm not gonna mess with it. So let's open up the code. What we need to work on now is this media area. So if you open this back up, we obviously need to make this a leave conversation instead. We need to work on this media, and then we need to do some work on, like, if you click on leave conversation and you're the owner, we need to transfer ownership over and do a bunch of stuff like that. But let's go and hop into it and get to work. We've done enough yapping here, and we need to add all the logic in this page. So if we go back into our code, we're going to be working on the front end as much as we can today, and then we'll swap over to the back end. Features, messaging, components, and then this is our conversation info page. Excuse me. Okay, so we come back in here. There's some stuff we could probably move out of this. This is a big mess of a component right now, but it is what it is. So we have our render media here, and what this is going to try to do is it's going to try to take in the conversation images that we have inside of the conversation itself. So if we come back in here, we're going to be flopping a lot, and we need to make it so we can actually click on the back arrow. But again, we'll work on that. So we're going to take these images, try to resize them. We might need to do some work on that, and then display them down here. Again, it's really hard to see, but there is a box there. So basically, that's what this render media is going to do. It's going to go through all the messages with images or media in them. It's going to map through them, and the reason why I'm using this is because these have the paused GIFs. So let's come down here. There'll be an area for our media. So instead of this one saying report conversation, let's go ahead and say leave conversation. We have our members, media, and then we have our render media. And there's probably going to be some work we have to do still inside of that image component that I'm just trying to slap in here. So if we look at this here, we tried adding a width to it, but we're going to see if that works. And the width might be incorrect. So I think it's around 90, but I don't remember. Okay, so yeah. I think it set the width properly, but the height is scuffed. So we need to also set the height. So let's hop back into there. I figured that we're just gonna have some strange stuff that we're gonna have to deal with here. The message conversation image, we set a width. Now the question is where we're using this width at. So we have width. I can turn it down a little bit. It shouldn't be that loud though. I can turn it down for sure. Okay, so here, let's see if we have the height as well. We'll set the height. Although, this might be, if it's a GIF and not play GIF, we just show an image. Okay, no, I think if it is a GIF, yeah, I think we want this. So we're gonna go ahead and say height. Whoops. Height colon width question mark. We'll set it to width. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and say auto, maybe. So if we have a width, we'll set it to the width. Otherwise, we'll set to auto. Okay, looks better. 90 by 90 looks good. We need to set it so it starts on the left side, but we can fix that. And then what we need to go ahead and do is also, if we have a width, we need to fill. So now I need to let's see, like set it to fill the entire area. Whoops. And this is something I always forget to do. CSS make image fill area. Yeah, object fit. Fill does not preserve aspect ratio. The image is resized to fill a container. So we might do this. The question is, let's go into the message conversation image CSS, and the container, like this probably already has a object fit on it, I would imagine. Let's see, controls wrapper. It doesn't actually. So I guess we can just put object fit fill in here. That's supposed to be the default, object fit fill. I don't want to break inside the messages. That didn't actually fix anything though. Cover preserves aspect ratio, fills the image container, cuts overflowing content. Let's try cover. And this might be the wrong. This might be the wrong thing anyway. I think this is the wrong. Let's see. Space FF. Let's go back to message conversation image component. The right thing. Let's just throw it in here. This style is getting a little bit nasty, but it is what it is. This class name's not doing anything, but oh well. Have our width, our height, and then I think we'll just go ahead and just say object fit, and this is just gonna go ahead and be cover. Let's just try to force it on here. Huh. Still not working. You know what? It might be because it's a background image. That's probably why, because it's a background image and not. We need to say CSS make background image fill div. Background size cover. Okay, let's try that instead. That's the issue. We might already have background. Background. Did it say size? No, it wasn't background size. It was background. Either that or this isn't a standard. Yeah, background size. I don't know why it's not showing up. Background size. Cover. I forget that it's an background image situation going on here. There we go. That's better. Now, does that break this? Is the question. I think that's probably fine. Although it did break this. Shoot. Yeah, so it did break this. I guess we are passing a width. So we need to pass a height and width to this, I think, maybe. My mouse is plain stupid. So let's pass a height and width, I guess. I don't love the way that this is playing out. But, height number. We could have made a second class for this and done it differently, but it is what it is. So height, whoops. And then here, we'll go ahead and just set height. Instead of auto, we'll just have our height. And then, so in our messages, we want the height to be 155. So let's first go back to what we were working in, this message pane, and we'll set the height to 90. So say height, whoops, equal to 90. And then I don't know if that's going to break like anything else. Well, obviously it's going to break this. We need to fix a message container. I don't know if it's going to break like other stuff. You know what we could do instead? We can make height optional. And then let's make, what we can do is this. We can make height optional. And then we can check to see if height is set. So height is going to be colon height question mark, set to height. Otherwise, we'll set it to auto. Not forget this. And that, I think, will fix our issues. And now our photograph is broken. Okay, so that's not going to work either. So we'll just set the height. So this was in our message container. And it was like 155 is what we want to set the message height to. Let's go ahead and set the message height, or the message image height, to 155. Data's in here. Was it not? Now it's just working. Oh, it's because height is optional. We're now in it's not just setting the height, I guess, so that makes sense. Okay, so that's working as expected. That's cool. Now we need to make sure that this is getting set to the left. Let's go back to the message page conversation pane, and inside of, let's see here, our media area, it's going to be inside the info pane media container. So let's go back into the message page conversation info pane.css. Let's go and find where this media is. So we want this to be flex start as well. Okay. So now if we come in here, there we go. And we should be able to get, if we come back on Twitter, supposed to be able to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in there. So let's do a couple more messages with images just to see if we can fit 6 in there. So now if we go ahead and come back, we need to set up all of the actual logic inside this page. Let's just say, whoops, another plain message. So a GIF in there. Sure. That seems a little bit scuffed. So we did break something with the messages, it seems like. That's not good. I don't know if it is the height and stuff that is breaking it, or if it's something else. But if we come back in here, cool, we broke something. Message conversation component cannot read splits. Interesting. But it only breaks when we come in here. So why does it not break? We go into our Redux. It should know that it's a gift from Tenor, I would think. Go into our, let's do our latest state here. Message, conversation. Okay, so we have this. It has the .gif at the end of it. It has a dot. Oh, you know what? I wonder if conversation info pane. I wonder if whenever I'm filtering these, if I did something not quite right. Let's check this filter. So checking for message dot image not to equal to an empty string. No, that's right. Is it because of this? Because why is it working in the message conversation container but not working here is my question. That's what I'm confused about. I mean, it's not working that well, but it's working. It says it can't split it because message image is undefined, I'm assuming. So what's good with this? Cannot read null. Why is it getting a third one? Is it because does it think that this plain message has an image? And why is this constantly spitting out images? That's kind of scary. Anyhow, I wonder if it's getting I wonder if this message that it's getting, I wonder if we're like, I bet that when we click on this, one of the messages is a plain message, yeah. So the message image here, message page and conversation info pane. So this filter, try this. I mean, because technically that's true. It's not an empty string because it's null. There we go. Yeah, and that scuffs this guy. So we need to work. This canvas needs fixed. So let's work on this canvas. So let's go back into the message conversation image. So now this is scuffed. If we come down here, so I think we need to work on this. So const width is equal to width, maybe. Let's set that to width. And then const canvas height is equal to height question mark height or 155. Okay, let's see if we can rework this a little bit. Now let's go ahead and take the canvas height and put it here. Canvas height. I'm assuming this is canvas height. And then same thing here. I'm gonna turn this into all the widths and the canvas width. Which really, we probably don't even need the canvas width because we're passing the width, I think, places. So I'm just gonna keep this as is. Because we passed the width no matter what, it wasn't an optional. So we'll just kind of keep that as is. We just need to update the height there. And then this image source kind of scares me, but we'll see. And then this one's just the controls, so I'm not worried about that. Let's see how big of a mess we made. So that looks better. And I don't think I need to worry about this as much, other than the fact that, like, for some reason this guy is scuffed. I don't know if it's the canvas itself that doesn't have, or like the background image is scuffed. But is it because the width got overridden? No, width is still 275. So it's not, doesn't have anything to do with the width. Doesn't have anything to do with that. So this has to do with the canvas. Interesting. If I throw overflow hidden on this, does that do anything? No. Seems like this canvas is like over top. I don't know if I ever noticed this before or not. Background image is unknown. So that could be part of the problem too. So if I do throw overflow hidden on this, it does fix that. So let's do that. Let's throw overflow hidden also on this message conversation image. Yeah, I do have background size on this already. So let's go back. Let's delete this and save that. Let's go into the message. Yo, how's it going? Conversation container CSS. And where actually is that? Is it this content? I'm in the wrong thing. I want the message conversation image. I can go to the right thing. Hope you're doing well. Conversation image CSS. There we go. So this one I'm going to set to cover. And I'm going to set overflow to hidden. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Just trying to bust some bugs here. All right. So now if we come back in here, looks better. Let's just get a nice hard refresh here. And now the GIF is broken. Yay. That was weird. Okay, it's fine now. I feel that. It's only Wednesday though, unfortunately. Was it when I... Seems fine. Now this isn't really covering that well. But honestly, I don't care. So I'm just going to keep it as is. Also... Whatever. The on click isn't getting overridden, but that's fine. Okay, let's just throw some more images in here. I want to see this filled all the way out. So, image. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just Wednesday. Throw a few more images in here. Maybe another GIF. Sure, good morning. Ooh. That's no good. Interesting. Okay, I need to look into what's going on with that. Why did that not scroll? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need like 6 images. We come back in here. Let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so far so good. Come back in. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to hook that up. There's a bunch of stuff I need to hook up still. Okay, let's see. Let's grab one more image. Videos. Let's just grab. Sure, we can grab this. And then I need one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think my scroll is broken. I don't love that. Let's just grab this one. Yes, for some reason my scroll is broken. Terrific. So I need to look into that. This scroll is working. My scroll down here is broken, so that's no bueno. Every time I work on this project, I find something new broken. I've been working on this project for like 3 years at this point, and a lot of the code is very old. So I keep finding things that are broken and stuff, so that's not great, but what can you do? Alright, so this is working as expected, so that's cool. So now, close out this cheat. Now I think we can start hooking some stuff up. Maybe I also go ahead and work on this, because there's a different chat settings for individual users. And these don't even work anyway, so that's cool. So these probably won't do anything other than maybe just report. I'll just make it look the same. I also want to add in this icon on the top. So let's add in the icon, I guess. So this is the message page conversation info pane. This will look into my daily life. This is what I do every day at work. So let's throw it up here. When we get to that point, probably the logo, I would say. So let's throw it in here. Div class name equal to message page conversation info pane. I'll call this edit. And then we need to grab that pencil SVG. I'm gonna yoink this from Twitter. My patented yoink. Copy the element. And then let's go and go into our components, go into SVGs, go into here, and we'll go ahead and call this pencil edit SVG, I guess. I'm still waiting on my second round of interviews. So hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, I'm still waiting on getting this job before I make any decisions on anything like logo wise or anything. So it imports SVG props. I'm gonna go over interfaces, export default function, and this will be called our pencil edit SVG. And we'll go ahead and take in props, which is our SVG. Whoops, SVG props. Return. I'm gonna go ahead and do it like this. Whoops, didn't paste it. There we go. Let's clean this up. There we go. Twitter changed a bunch of stuff because their SVGs also didn't used to look like this. So now they have like an actual styling thing in there. I think Elon is actually making them make changes. Interestingly. Yeah, because their stuff never looked like this. Go ahead and delete all of this. So height, it's gonna be, I think they're getting better actually. Props.height, everyone gave them shit, but I think they're actually improving stuff from the looks of their code. Props.width, don't need this, don't need this. And then here we'll go ahead and say fill equal to props.color question mark and then props.color. Otherwise just say #000 for black. And I'll actually make this path look a little bit nicer by bringing this down. Not much, but it's honest work. Alright, go back into the message conversation info pane code. Okay, now we'll have our pencil edit SVG. Let the height equal to 20, maybe. The width equal to 20, Color, we'll just set to black. So pound 000, whoops, color equal to pound 000. Cool. Now we need to go ahead and do like this. Let's go into the message page, conversation info pane.css. Come up here. This is, I should have just named this something else. Maybe I'll go back and do that, I don't know. But this is basically gonna be the same exact thing, except it'll be top right instead of top left. So here, top here, and then this will be right 12 pixels. And then we'll do the same thing. Message, page, conversation, info, pane, dash, edit. Whoops, edit. And then background. This should be hover. Let's make sure we add the hover on here. Colon hover. Not hover. And background color is going to go ahead and be RGBA 000.1. And then cursor is pointer. Now we should have that guy. Oh, there we go. And we're always going to have it. I'm going to take some liberty here and tell Twitter what I'm doing, or basically do it how I want instead. Cool. So there is that. The other thing that we need to worry about is if we create a message with just Rick. Okay, this is a message. This is a conversation between just two people. Why is this broken again? I had this fixed. What happened? This was fixed. Why does this always break? I am tired of this, Grandpa. Did the width not get set properly on this? I'm not gonna be able to tell. I think the width isn't getting set properly. Whatever. Okay, so now we have our message with Rick. If we go into info, this is gonna look different. And I guess we need to put his username underneath, so that's something else we need to fix. So if we come back, we look at this, it has their at, this is the same, and then the chat settings are different. So basically what we need to do is if we come back in here, message, page, conversation, info pane, we need to check to see if this is a group chat or a single chat. And we might need to split out the content for single versus multiple chats. Excuse me. So we're getting the conversation from the message state. We have the filtered users list. I kind of want to say const filtered users. Gotta do this slightly different. Let's go ahead and say const and group chat, or is group chat, and set is group chat equal to use state of a boolean And I guess we'll just start out as false to start. And what we'll go ahead and do is say const filtered users is equal to whatever conversation dot conversation users dot filter. We'll do the same exact thing here. User ID not equal to logged in user ID. So do the same exact thing, except now we'll go ahead and say set filtered users list to those filtered users. And we'll also go ahead and say set is group chat to filtered users dot length. Whoops. Length is greater than 1. So if there's 2 people in there, that means that after we filtered out the logged in user, that means that there's a logged in user plus 2 people. If there's only 1 person in there, that means it's just a logged in person and the other person, so it's not a group chat. So there's that. So now we can go ahead and see use that is group chat to hide or show stuff. So if we come, and we're probably gonna want to like clean up a lot of this stuff, unfortunately, and break it out into new components. I'm just try not to make too many components and try not to containerize or componentize whatever too much stuff here, just because I know that it's already a lot of stuff broken out into components. So I didn't break anything there. We come back in here. I think we still technically want report and leave. We still want report, but now it says delete. So at this point, we might as well just create like a chat settings. Let's first go to where we have the name of the conversation. Let's see here. Name. So below the name, we'll have like we'll do this and say not is group chat. So if it's not a group chat, and a p tag, p class name equal to, we'll go ahead and call this message page conversation info pane, and then this will be username. And then in here, we'll go ahead and do, let's just take this, we'll say filtered user list 0 dot username. That should exist. Now let's go ahead and copy this, go into the message page conversation pane info pane .css. Let's go ahead and put this below the name, paste that in there, set the margin to 0, set the padding to 0, and then I'm guessing the size and stuff is just going to be like 15. Yeah, 15 and like 400. So color, we're going to go with the dark gray that we originally had, so 657786. If things change, I'm not changing like all the styles and stuff, so that's why we're going to set that color. Font size is 15, and then font dash weight is going to be 400. We also need to add an @ symbol there. Let's go back into our message page, whoops, conversation and info pane. Let's also make sure we add the @ here. So now, and here says @Rick Sanchez. Perfect. Now we need to fix this. So this isn't going to say group settings and stuff. It doesn't even have media, but it might be because we haven't sent any images. If I go back here, if I send an image in here, Let's see. Let's see if I come in here. Media, yeah. So this only displays if there's media inside. So we can also come in here and do this. And do a check to see if we have any media. So on startup as well, we'll go and say const. How do we want to call this? Const media messages, maybe. And set media messages equal to use state of a message, and we want this to be regular interfaces array. Sorry, that was empty. And then, so right now we're already in render media. We're already checking if we have this. I'm just gonna yoink this. Just copy this. We're already checking if we have a conversation anyway. Paste that in there. Instead of calling it media messages, we'll call this messages with media, or filtered media messages. And we'll go and set media messages to these filtered media messages. And then what we'll do instead is inside this render media, we'll just go ahead and say we can still use media messages. Whoops. We can delete this, we can delete this, we can delete this, we can delete this, we can delete this. And do this. And fix this. And now it just won't render anything if we don't have any media messages. It's not that big of a deal. And then we'll go ahead and say media messages dot length greater than 0. And so now if we have any media messages, we'll display that media. We come in here, broken. There we go. Go into info, what I break, console, cannot read undefined username. Terrific. Why can you not read username? What I break? Literally has his username right there, dude. Filtered user list isn't working or what? Did I break the filtered user list up here somehow? Why is that breaking? Why is this breaking? I guess let's just do one of these. Maybe there's like a weird off timing. Yeah, there must have been some weird timing on that. Okay. So there's that. So now we basically need to like take. So this mute and search is fine. Now this group settings, lead conversation, and then this guy here, these all need to be wrapped together in like a div maybe. Might even need to be a div. It could probably just be a fragment. We wrap all this in a fragment. And then wrap this fragment in a set of curly braces. And then say is group chat. And this will be like our default for group chat. And then otherwise of another set of fragments inside options for personal chat or something. Just make sure this works. So we come in here, we have options for personal chat. That's what we want to see. We go into this one, go into info. We have everything. Okay. So there's that info, or there's that done. So that looks good. Now the thing is, we are reusing leave and report, right? So leave and report are being reused. So the question is, do we figure out a way to yoink these? And like, do we extract these into their own component? Not their own component, but like, I don't see the reason to reuse this. So I'm thinking we like const leave conversation equal to this, and then do we want to pass the message? We might want to pass the conversation in here just to have it, but we can deal with that in a second. Let's just do this. We'll go ahead and we definitely want to probably, how do we want to do this? So we need is group chat for sure. That's gonna determine where this is gonna be displayed. So do that. What do we want to report first? Then we want to report first, because the leave is always delete. Well, one says delete, one says leave, but it's the same. It's gonna be the same idea. So we'll actually go ahead and create the report first, report conversation, and then return. Oh, I messed this up. This should be is group chat. We'll probably want to pass the. Why is this song so loud? The other song was not this loud. Okay, we'll go ahead and break this is group chat. So then what we'll do is come back up here, yoink this, paste it in there. Now position is going to be is group chat question mark. If it's a group chat, we first, otherwise we'll do middle. Now we can go and just throw our report conversation in here. So delete this. Report conversation is group chat will equal to is group chat. Like so. And then we'll say const, and we'll go say leave conversation, say react.fc, and we'll do the same thing. So here we'll say is group chat because the text is slightly different. Boolean. And we'll go say is group chat. Okay, return. Then let's go and yoink the leave conversation. Right here. Go and throw this in here. So this one's always going to be last. But now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this like this. And we're going to say is group chat question mark. Then we're going to go ahead and have leave conversation. Otherwise, it'll say delete conversation. Like that, I believe. We come back and look at this. And Twitter, delete conversation. And then this one says leave conversation. But these ones are both last, so. Now we can go ahead and throw leave conversation in here. Throw is group chat in there equal to is group chat. Okay. Save that. Leave conversation. Click on this. We don't have any information in here yet, but we need to add that. Okay, so I need to run to the restroom really quick. Also, I'll figure out what's going on with this filter. It's supposed to like have a limiter where it doesn't go above like -35. So I don't know why it's getting so loud, but I'm gonna bump it down to like -36. Definitely not working. Because that's obviously way too loud. And I might add another filter for like, I don't know, compressor or something. But it should only be... Let me turn it like all the way down to like there. That seems like that's probably better. Okay, anyway, y'all. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue on.
Brilliant minds push the limits of what we thought was possible. Pushing the boundaries of human potential.
crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder. Go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder. Go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder.
Go crazy, berserker.
I smoke too much, I drink too much. I tell myself that I can't stop. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. That I can't stop. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. Clearly now. Clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. I smoke too much, I drink too much. I tell myself that I can't stop. We could see clearly now. 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 Clearly now. Clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. That I can't stop. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly now. We could see clearly. see clearly
Alrighty, y'all. Sorry about the delay there. I had to take care of a couple of things after going to the restroom. So let's go ahead and start getting the options for personal chat set up and then see how much logic we can get done. Unfortunately, I think this can be a little bit of a shorter stream today because my daughter might wake up. She already got up once, so she's probably going to get up a little bit early today. So that's going to go ahead and take some time away from stream, but it is what it is. So options for personal chat. Also, we probably need to order this by most recent message, but it is what it is. If we come back into Twitter and we go back into our personal, go into info, we have disappearing messages. This aren't going to do anything. Screenshot settings, that's not going to do anything. And then we have a report and delete conversation. So if we come in here, we can probably just, hello, there we go. We can probably just take literally this message container. Probably take this as well. Just copy this. And bring it down here. Like so. Go and just paste that in. And then here, I think it says like message settings or something. Chat settings. So we just go ahead and throw chat settings here. Like so. So report message is towards the middle. So what we need to do is we need to add this disappearing messages in screenshot settings. So what we can go ahead and do is, I'm just going to yoink this, the message information card. Copy it. And then we'll go above here. And we'll paste this a couple times. So paste it there. And paste it there. Okay, so this one is just going to be first, and the other one's going to be middle. Yeah, she's moving and making noise in there. So hopefully she goes back to sleep, but we'll see. So first, and then this one is going to go ahead and be middle. So delete all of this. I deleted a little bit too much. So now instead of flag SVG, I'm just going to yoink this because, I mean, maybe Material UI icons has one of those, but I doubt it. But we can look, I guess. It's like a clock. Kind of similar to that. Like a stopwatch. Let's see if there's an outline stopwatch. There's this alarm off. There's a timer. That's very similar. I'm just gonna yoink this. It's not exact, but it's close enough, honestly. So this is like called timer outlined. Timer outlined for Material UI SX equal to, and we'll go ahead and set the height to 20px, the width to 20px, whoops, 20px, the color to pound 000. Make sure we close this and close that. Okay. And then the content itself is going to be, we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on this. And let's see, I broke this. So this needs one more of these. Okay, so now the content itself is going to say disappearing messages. Let's go ahead and say disappearing messages here. And then we need a trailing. So trailing with div with a class name equal to, we probably still want message, message dash page dash conversation dash info dash pane dash thin dash text. We're also going to go ahead and need message page conversation info pane, and then let's go ahead and call this option trailing. Maybe it's not pretty, but, and then this needs the word off, and then we need we'll go ahead and call this like, not an arrow, it's like a chevron. We have chevron right, and then sx equal to height of 20px, width of 20px, 20px, and then color of pound 000. Let's see what this looks like. So off. The chevron is slightly different color. It's actually going to be gray. Let's just say pound 657786. 657786 is going to be like the dark gray. Come in here. Yeah, I just need to like center it. So if we come in here and copy this, go into the message page conversation info pane.css. Typed it wrong. Info pane.css. And maybe I just put this on the bottom or something. I don't really know where else to put this. So trailing, we're just gonna go ahead and say display flex. Justify content, flex start, I guess. Align items in the center, and then go ahead and have a gap of like 8px or something, just to kind of really spread those apart. Looks good, I think. Yeah, looks good. So now I just need to do the same thing, but I put that in the wrong spot. So we need to come back in here, space FF, go back into message page conversation info pane. I got these mixed up. Let's just copy this one. I'll just move it up. That's not that big of a deal. And really, I might want to paste this twice, because we need that same trailing, but slightly different. So I'm going to delete this. I'm just going to copy this again and paste it in again. Okay. So now we have disappearing messages, and this one's like screenshots or something. This one is called screenshot settings. And these ones aren't gonna do anything because they don't do anything for me. So screenshot settings, and then this one will probably need to steal. I highly doubt Material UI is gonna have like something to do with screenshots. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Yep, so let's yoink this one off of X. My mouse wants to cooperate. It does not. Steal this SVG. Copy the element. Hop back in here. Space E, go up to our components. We'll go ahead and say screenshot SVG or screenshot settings svg.tsx. Hop in here. Go and import our SVG props like so. Go ahead and export default function SVG, SVG props. Nope, I'm stupid. This is our screenshot settings SVG. Props will be our SVG props. I don't know why it's acting funny. Return, paste it in, clean it up a bit. So, come back over here, clean this up. Excuse me. I'm hoping that by the end of next week, I'll have this done. I don't work for 2 days next week, obviously holidays and whatnot. But I won't be able to stream during the week really because my family's gonna be here. So I'm gonna try to work on stuff like this and the other project instead of streaming. So hopefully we can get this done and ready to start recording after Thanksgiving. Fill is equal to props.color question mark props.color, otherwise pound 000. You can also go ahead and just clean this up and make this look a little bit prettier as well. Bring that fill down, bring that down. All right, now back to what we were working on. So now instead of timer outline, we'll get the screenshot settings SVG. So screenshot settings SVG, and height will equal to 20, width will equal to 20, and color will equal to pound 000. That's redundant, but whatever, it's fine. And that should be good. Yep, cool. So now we have our disappearing chat, we have our everything. Sick. We have our media. Doesn't say see all for some reason, so this is broken. Let's see what's going on with media messages. Why is see all not showing up here? Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the wrong thing. It only shows see all if there's more than interesting. Something else that we probably need to do is we need to split this by 6 so that it doesn't get more than we want. So here in render media, map, once say dot splice 0,6, I believe. That should make sure we only get the first like 5 or 6. Is it not splice? That skipped everything. Maybe it's not splice? Or is it broken now? Completely. No, it's not broken. So what is going on here? So I guess it's not splice. Thought it was splice though. Is it slice? It might be slice. 0,6. There. Okay. And then I think if there's less than... That's kind of weird logic because this only has 5. So I guess if there's less than 5, we'll just say we won't show all. So we come down here and check this. It's kind of silly, but this will go ahead and say media messages dot length is greater than 4, and then this. So if we have 5 or more messages, then we'll go ahead and see all. So then if we go back into Twitter, go into Rick, go into info, greater than 0 should have media messages in there. Oh wait, you know what? I might not have actually sent a image in here. Yeah, I didn't. So now if we add a GIF, I guess, but sad, I guess, send it. And now if we go into info, it just says 1 and doesn't say show all. Cool. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, now we're ready to start doing some of the logic. So this back button needs to take us back to messages / whatever message ID it is. So now we can go ahead and start doing with this. This generate members list, we probably want to bring this out into its own component, because this is pretty gross. But whatever. Const, and this will probably be closer to the top because we're going to use this. So we'll say const handle navigate back react.mouse event on HTML, this on div elements, e.stop propagation just for good measure. We need to bring in navigate. Go and bring that in. Const navigate is equal to use navigate. And then let's go ahead and just navigate. We also need a conversation, but that should be fine. So we're going to say const, whoops, nope. Navigate to backtick / messages / $curly brace conversation (conversation ID). Whoops. So we'll try to navigate back to messages / conversation ID, and then we'll go ahead and throw this on here. So on, whoops, on click is equal to, whoops, this would be handle navigate back. So now if we come in here and click on back, it takes us back to this, what we want to see. Cool. Come in here, go into this one, click on this. We need to sort these by whenever the message came in. So we need to do with that. We also need to say like so and so sent an image if there's no text. So that's something else we need to look at, I guess. Click on this, it takes us back to 1. Very cool, Kanye. Okay, so next in our info here would be, let's set it up so when you click on this, it opens up that modal. So if we click on this, it pops up this modal that says nickname. Sure. And we can just say nickname is only visible to you. Although that's kind of stupid. I'm just gonna call this conversation name and go from there. And then we'll have to do some backend code to work on this. But let's go ahead and create this modal and go from there. So say in our components, we'll go ahead and call this message rename conversation modal, I guess. And yeah, we'll probably need a CSS for this. Message rename conversation modal.tsx and message rename conversation modal.css. So that means in our modal redux slice, let's go and add this in. So we'll go into our modal slice and we'll go ahead and add this in display, and this is rename. This should have been conversation. Display rename message and boolean. Go ahead and set it here. So display, whoops, display rename message will start out as false. This was a very bad use of our doing this, but should have done this differently. But it's fine. Update display, and then this is rename message. Take in the state. We'll say return state, and oops, display rename message is not state dot display rename message. This is also not a very good way to update the state, but I don't care. Update display rename message, pass that back. Looks good. So now let's go ahead and create this modal. So import React from React and import the, hopefully no one's chatting. No problem, Troublemaker. Sorry if I didn't see your message earlier. I had something popped up over chat like an idiot. Import the / message rename. Maybe I did call this rename conversation. I did. Rename message rename conversation modal.css. Export const message rename conversation modal to react.fc. This will need to take in the conversation at the very least. So at least bring that in. We'll see if we need more. We might need a handler, but we'll see. With our modal working, we might be able to use a bottomless modal here. We'll see, because the bottomless modal I think isn't a set height, so we might be able to use the bottomless modal. So now what we need to do is come back into our modal slice, and let's go ahead and rename this to conversation. So const rename conversation and display rename conversation, and then come down here and also rename this one. So this will be rename conversation. This will be rename conversation. This will be rename conversation. Same thing here. Conversation. I think I cleaned it all up. Now we need to go into our, we'll also add the missing attributes here. The top bar. Go ahead and just make a one of these. Say rename conversation top bar, and then we'll have our rename conversation content. And I might just throw it on here because I don't think it's gonna be that much. It's like an input, and that's about it. And then here, what we'll do is go into our components, and we have like the component for the modal container. We'll go ahead and display it inside our modal container. We could probably call this modal provider, but const display rename conversation is equal to use selector state root state, and this is modal dot state dot modal dot display rename conversation, and we'll just do the same thing here. Display rename conversation, and we'll have our message rename conversation modal like so. Hopefully that doesn't need to take in. I think we had it taken in our message, so that might be an issue. I mean, we can. Because I think we did have it taken in the message, the conversation. Yeah. So I don't know how that's not an error. We might not need to take in the conversation because I think that we have the currently open conversation inside of our modals, inside of our state itself. So I think if we say like const use selector or const open conversation is equal to use selector state root states state dot message. Let's check our redux. Conversation open. That's just called conversation. And I'm just gonna say if not conversation. This should never happen. Like, we should always have a conversation when we get to this point, but if we don't have a conversation, I'll just return null. But that should never happen. Because whenever we open this, we should be at the point of having, whenever we open this, we should be at the point that we clicked on the button specifically with an open conversation. So now we need to const handle open rename conversation equal to e react.mouse event on HTML div element. Again, not accessible, but whatever. e.stop propagation, navigate to back, actually not navigate, we need to set up a dispatch. So under our root state here, say const dispatch is an app dispatch equal to use dispatch. And then we'll go ahead and come over here. Went too far. Dispatch, and this is going to be dispatch update display, rename conversation. And that should open that. And then now we'll come down here. And on this edit, we'll go ahead and say on click is equal to handle open rename conversation. Now we go into footer, click this. We should be able to click on this. It opens this up. It's a little bit big, but that's fine. I don't care. I'm not making a whole new modal for this. And like probably we could pass optional props to our bottomless modal to have like a width and height if we wanted to. So if we go into our bottomless modal, right now we have top bar and whatever. So like what we could do is say like width is optional, and question is, do we want it to be let's make it a string. Then what we'll do is we'll throw it into that. So we'll say width and height. And what we'll do is we'll just throw it in here. Literally just say width, height. If we don't have it, we'll just ignore it. If we do have it, we won't. And then that makes it easy. What we could do is we can just hover over this guy. It's 420 by 300. What we can do is we can come back into our rename modal, right? And we can just go ahead and say like the height is, I'm guessing the height was 420. Height is 420 px, blaze it, and the width was 300 px. Now, cool. I broke it. Maybe I put that in the wrong spot. Put this, let's see here. But I think I put that in the wrong spot. Yeah. So let's take it out of this. So I guess we actually want it on the modal box probably. Let's try that. Okay, so I do have it backwards, it looks like. Let's swap those. The width will be 420. Height will be 300. There. Looks good. So there's that. Excuse me. Unfortunately, it looks like they did something stupid and made it so that the top close icon is position relative. So that's cool. I don't like that. What we'll do, I guess, is the top bar itself will account that. We'll make this top bar like this full area and then kind of figure out how to put it in there. Okay, so I'm gonna be lazy and just say const message rename conversation modal top bar, like so. And this isn't gonna take in any props, so I'm just gonna do this. Return div class name equal to message dash conversation message dash rename conversation modal top dash bar. And I think the issue, well actually no, the bottomless modal doesn't have any this doesn't have any padding on it. There's no way it has any padding on it. It doesn't. So that's actually perfect for what we need. So what we can do is we'll add padding to it. We'll have our div class name equal to message rename And we might not even need this, but how do I want to deal with this? It's fine, we'll do this. Rename conversation modal top bar close. Scuff this. This is gonna need a on mouse enter, and it's also gonna need an on mouse leave. Unfortunately, the way they have this set up. Clean this up a little bit. Try to get the top bar done at least today. Okay, so then in here we'll have a couple pieces of states. Const, we need dispatch. Const dispatch. App dispatch. I'm probably gonna pass this. Whatever. It is what it is. Use dispatch. Because we need to const handle close. We'll say handle close modal. The react.mouse event on HTML div element. D.stop propagation. And here we'll just say dispatch and update display rename conversation. We'll just go ahead and close it. So we can also go ahead and say on click equal to handle close modal. Okay, and then we also need a piece of state const, and this will be close color set close color equal to use state, and this will be a string, and by default, let's see, go on to Twitter, it's like a dark gray color. It's like the, let's say that it's by default pound 657786. Whoops, 86. So then on mouse enter, we're gonna go ahead and call set. We're gonna do one of these, set close color, and we'll go ahead and set it to black or something. I don't know that it goes all the way black, but it's probably fine. Set close, maybe. Color to pound 657786. So go ahead and set it back to the original color. Cool. Okay. Now what do we want to do? We need to set the close icon. So we'll go ahead and say close. It might be X icon. Let's go Material UI real quick. They're going to be called close. But maybe it's not called close. Doesn't matter if it's filled or outlined, because it's just an X. Should I look for close? I know they have one. It is called close. Close icon. Close from Material UI. There we go. SX equal to. Now this one's a little bit smaller. This one is 16 by 16. So width will be 16 px. Height will be 16, maybe, px. Color is going to go ahead and be, what's it called? Close color. So now whenever we hover over it, that import, that's fine. That'll be that. And then we'll also go ahead and have a h3 or something with a class name equal to message rename dash conversation dash modal top bar title. And this is just literally going to be like nickname or something. I'm going to lost my mouse. I'm not going to call it nickname. I'm just going to call it like rename conversation. I'm taking a liberty here to do what I think looks better. Put this in here. Message rename conversation top bar. Then let's hop in here. Oops. So for padding, Twitter has quite a bit of padding. So it shows 24px. So that's what I'll do 24 top, left, right. Because it's only, I'm guessing the gap on this is not 24. The gap is probably like 16 or something. So what I could do is I could say like padding is going to be 24 top, 24, 16, 24. See if that looks okay. Obviously this looks a little bit on the scuff side, but we'll fix it. And then we want this position to be absolute, so we can move the other guy around. And then I think that's all we really need for this. Because what we're going to go and do with this one is we're going to copy it. And we're going to go ahead and say display flex, justify content in the center, align items in the center, and then we're going to go ahead and say position is relative. Actually, we want this one to be relative. Sorry. And this one to be absolute. And we're going to have top probably like 16px. It might even be 8. Let's try 12. And right 12px. My daughter's moving. I might have to end stream early. No, it's probably 16. Do 16. Most likely 16. And then we'll take this title. Go margin 0, adding 0. And then let's yoink the size. There we go, looks a lot better. And we need to make the size slightly bigger. So this is 23px and probably like 600. So font size is 23px. Font weight 600. Yeah, I went to end stream here, unfortunately. But I think that looks good. Obviously, this isn't supposed to say rename conversation, but I don't care. And I think that looks pretty good. So now what we'll do is let's make sure we can close out of this before we end. Cool. And then let's just set up really quickly the content. So const message rename conversation modal body. Once again, do this. So we're gonna need some actual logic in here, but let's return. And in here we'll have a div with a class name equal to message rename dash conversation modal body. Whoops, modal body. And we'll just go ahead and say content. And the reason why I want to do this is I want to style it to make it look a little bit better. So come in here, paste that in, and then here you can say padding is going to be 0, and then 24px, 24px, 24px. Then we'll go ahead and finish wrapping all of those padding. And then we can go ahead and replace this content here with the message rename conversation modal body. And now we should have some nice padding. So yeah, now we have our content. And then from here, what I'll do is either, probably not in the next stream, I'll have to do this offline. Here, I'm probably just going to say like renaming. This will rename the conversation for everyone or something, I don't know. And then we'll, instead of saying nickname, we'll do some other stuff. And then here, rename doesn't do anything. Remove doesn't do anything. Interesting. But I think that's going to go ahead and do it. We'll work on the content, or I'll work on the content. It's looking good. I don't know if this should only be doable by the admin, but I don't really care that much, to be honest. I just want to kind of work. I want to be able to rename the conversation so it doesn't just say Rick and Mort Dog. So that is what it is. It would be nice to have, I might be able to throw a hover on this. If I come to this close, I might be able to put a cursor pointer on this. There we go. Looks better. Cool. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this stream. It's been 2 hours. I know that we had an interruption there, so I'm sorry about that. But I hope you guys did enjoy. But yeah, this has been Ethan and Uncutter, and I'll see you all in the next live stream on Friday.